When a kid first gets his first scholarship offer, he goes on Twitter or Instagram and he said, "Blessed to receive my first offer from this university." What's the first thing he should know about that offer?
That offer is conditional. It's conditional on a couple of things. Number one is conditional on him continuing to be an elite player, because what an offer says is, I think you're good enough to potentially play here down the line if you continue to progress from what we've seen so far. The second thing that he has to understand is academically, are his academics up to par, which is the number one thing in the recruiting process. So many kids go into these offers and they haven't done what they needed to take care of academically, and it throws everything off. And then the third thing, and this happens every year to somebody, is coaching changes. And college football is very fluid. So the coach can change, and that can change the entire situation on the scholarship offer.
Now, what about these kids who have 30 to 35 plus offers? Because let's be real about it. Schools like Alabama, Ohio State, they're offering kids all across the nation, but they only get 24 to 26 scholarships per year. So what does that mean when you have 30 plus offers? And does that mean that you may lose some of those offers the longer you wait to commit?
Well, you're going to lose several of them, and you're going to lose several of them fast, and a lot of it has to do with the amount of interest that you show in the school. So if a guy has 30 offers, he's a legitimate big-time Division I player, but he obviously doesn't have the time or the resources to go visit 30 schools. So he's going to start narrowing that process down. And when he doesn't visit a campus unofficially, then he's pretty much telling the school in their mind that he's not interested, and they're going to move on from that right away.
And how fast can a school pull their scholarship right after they offer it?
They can pull it immediately. A guy could offer you a scholarship and next week offer it to somebody else, and that guy decides he wants to take it, and then you're out of the mix right then and there.
So when a kid gets a scholarship and a parent sees their kid get that scholarship, what's the first thing they should be doing?
The first thing they should be doing is making contact with the staff and trying to get on campus and get a feel to see if that school is even a fit for them.
So would you say that nowadays recruiting is more like a show, and it's like, hey, who's the best car salesman? What can you sell me on the most, and make the kid feel good so he can post it on social media? Do you think it's that way now?
Well, it's from a fan perspective, but the kid who's going to spend the next 4 to 5 years of his life at a university, he really has to get into, does he fit on that team, on that campus, in that system? Do they have a major that he wants to study academically, which a lot of them overlook because they all think they're going to play in the NFL, and so few of them are.
Coach, now what about those schools? Now, I know this happens quite often in college football, but they offer a kid a scholarship, he commits to them, he's honoring that, commitment, and then when he goes to sign, they say, hey, we don't have a scholarship for you anymore. How can they avoid situations like that?
Well, it's a dirty game, and that happens to kids quite often. They have to stay in contact, and usually there were signs leading up to that's going to happen. Number one, you have to lean on your high school coach to stay in communication with those guys to see if anything has changed. And two, guys should still continue to talk to the schools that are interested in them in case they need to do something different down the stretch.
I'm glad you talked about that, because I feel like a lot of kids burn bridges. They feel like, oh, I don't want to go to that school. That school means nothing to me. And then the school pulls their offer and they're like, wait, I really want to go there. How can a kid avoid a situation like that and be prepared?
Being nice to everybody. Any school who contacts you, regardless of the level, you need to have a relationship and you need to form one. You need to be very respectful to every coach who comes in contact with you, and you need to really be responsive.
How can parents play a bigger role in this recruiting process? Because I know they're not answering the phone for their sons when they're getting calls from 100 different coaches all year long. What should a parent know the first step to recruiting?
A parent has to get involved because it's their child involved and it's their future. And this is going to affect the next 40 years of your life, this 4-year decision that you're going to make. So when schools start contacting your child, you need to get with those coaches right away and see the seriousness of it. You need to get with your high school coach, make sure that everybody's on the same page regarding the recruitment.
And as far as those kids who want to play big-time Division I football, it's a dream a lot of kids have. But what's the reality of the situation? When will they know if they're a Division I player?
Division I players are born, they're not made, and so it's so many factors that go into it. It's a size thing, it's a speed thing, and there's a lot of really good players that don't get a chance to play Division I football because they don't have the measurables. You'll be chosen if you're going to play at a school like a SEC or a Big Ten school. They'll choose you if that's the case.
And for parents who kids aren't Division I players, when does the recruiting process start for the FCS schools, D2, D3, and NAI?
FCS is starting earlier than it normally has because of the early signing period, but the Division II and the NAI is going to happen following the senior year. It's going on right now for a lot of kids, and there's great educations at those schools that you can also get.
Is that a message that you tell your kids? It doesn't matter where you sign as long as you get your school paid for?
Yeah, I've had some really good players. When I was the coach at U City, I had guys like George Brown, Kylan Claiborne, Tony Newman, Kevin Wilson. Those guys all went to Division II schools, and they got their college degrees, and they're living really incredible lives. They're living better now than they would have had to if they didn't have a college education.
And what is the biggest thing that you think some kids just truly don't get when it comes to this recruiting process, whether it's their actions on social media, their academics, or just their character?
Social media could ruin your career depending on how you handle it. You have to understand that anything you like on social media, everybody can see that you like it. So a college coach is really monitoring your page to kind of see what kind of person are you. Are you following people who are involved in drugs? Are you following guys who are involved in violence? Things like that can completely derail you.
And how often do college coaches talk to you about a kid's social media or just his character in general?
They typically only say something about it if a question comes into play.
So do you think that kids shoot themselves in the foot a lot of the times with things that they do on social media? Because I understand like how important it is for kids to have social media nowadays, but I don't think they understand the importance of it and to utilize it in a way that can benefit them.
They shoot themselves in the foot a lot about it. Some of them kill their careers before it even gets started, and they really have to have an understanding about what the expectation is, because you recruit your own problems. That's how college coaches feel. So if a kid is a problem in high school through their social media account, then it's a good chance they're going to pass on you.
And you implemented a policy at Lutheran North this year. You guys, you know, your players kind of acted like teenagers on social media, and you disciplined them. How do you think they took that?
Well, it didn't matter how they took it because I'm in charge, you know, so that's the big thing. But they responded well to it. They understood that what they did was unacceptable, and we've moved on from it.
Coach, you teach a lot about character at your school. You sent over 31 kids to play collegiate football since you've been a head coach. Can you just tell me, over the years of you being a head football coach, what's the biggest struggle when it comes to this recruiting process?
The biggest struggle is managing expectations, because everybody thinks that they can play in the SEC, or everybody thinks that they're a major Division I player. The biggest struggle is sitting the kid and his parents down and giving them a realistic view of where their talent is really going to land them.
And for those kids who think they can play college football regardless of the level, what's your message to them about being recruited?
Get your grades. Your academics will take you places that your ability can't get you in. Your academics has to be the first standpoint that you concentrate on and that you focus on. I see so many guys in Jordans. I see so many guys with the latest PS4s and games, but I don't see as many guys working on the ACT, working on getting a tutor to handle their academic situation. And then when it comes time to sign and they don't have anything going on, then you kind of look back at the choices that you made.
And final question that I have for you, Coach. When a kid does have 30 offers, or a kid has one offer, what's your message to them when it comes to picking that university?
Once you get on campus, you'll know if this is the place for you. And when you feel like you found a place that you can spend the next 4 to 5 years of your life, you should make your intentions known and don't play around with it, and don't risk not having that opportunity, and pick your school.
All right, we appreciate it, Coach. Carl Reed, Lutheran North Crusaders State Championship head coach this past season. And that'll do it for sports. I'm Ahmad Hicks.